Here's the disclaimer. This is for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice. Cryptocurrencies are risky. Do your due diligence and invest at your own risk. You can lose money. What's up? My name is J Tragic Jeffrey, and today there will be no champagne sipping, crypto pumping. I can only give you the real in the crypto world. And thank you for watching today's crypto plunder. We're going to talk about Bitcoin and whether or not the trend is that it might be time for a little bit of consolidation, a little bit of a dip. And also we're going to talk about something that I keep seeing, and that's BlockNet. Like, people are really trying to chase this one, and what I want to do is do a quick due diligence on it and then let you know why probably not the best time to jump into it. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with today. We're looking at the market cap today. We see a lot of green, which is great. Don't know how long that will last, of course, because we have to be a bit fearful of the market. There's a lot of green, there's a lot of up. A few things are going to be down, of course. NEO is going to be down because of news that's going on in China, of course, blocking ICOs, and NEO by itself is an ICO protocol, a platform that's something that's supposed to be China's NEO. So of course, if China's saying, hey, we're not going to do ICOs here, and you have a platform that's built to do ICOs, you're going to see this, as you see with the chart, it's going to come down. That means for anybody that's allowed to do it, once that price hits a nice decent bottom and starts bouncing, then it might be a little bit of a buy signal, because we already know where it went to before and how high it was. So I want to talk and really talk about and make this video about Bitcoin. Now, if you look at it, I want to talk about a little bit of a historic view. Like, as you can see, little bumps. When you look at this, when you look at the chart, and you look at it from this big, large view, you get some information, but sometimes you do have to take a real targeted approach to and narrow down your focus to kind of see what patterns do you see. Okay, so for me, I've always been like I always tell everybody, I'm all about value investment, value investment, value investment. So when I do something like this, I drew some lines out at specific plateaus where I said, okay, I'm not going to start really down here because I didn't get enough information. But when it started to really ramp up and started to settle, and the market started to settle on a price, how much did we go up over time, right? So between this time down here when Bitcoin was, let's say back in 2015, Bitcoin historically went up. It just started its historic pattern of around 50 to 60% jumps. Okay, so let's look at that. We see right here in 2015, jumps up 50 something percent. We see that here around November, right? Then it does a bit of a consolidation, of course, but I'm going from where the tops of these patterns, where we said we had a resting pattern. So when it came back to the line and did its next rise, it jumped up 50%, right? 50 to 60. When it hit its next plateau, after it did this little dip, once it hit it, it did this little dip for a while, then it hit its next plateau, which was really not here, even though it could be there, because there's a little bit of a bounce there, but I like the fact that there's a resting point right around here. So 50-60%, we can say right around here. 58, like early 50, late 58s, 60s% is right around here. So we see this happen in 2016. We see this is 2017. So we're gonna have, so now in 2017 we're gonna change, right? So late 2016 we're starting to get a big buzz. So now here we're gonna have a little bit of craziness happening, because 2017 is when everything started ramping up, right? So of course it didn't follow the charts exactly. I mean, you could say it bounced here, you could say it did a dip here, you could, but really the major consolidations, I'm looking for consolidations. I'm looking for consolidations, like a lot of red, not just a little red, because we're in the day chart, we're not in the hourly. I'm looking for more red, like more red, and you can see a little bit wider, a little bit wider of red, right? So you're starting to see a correlation to price size to consolidation. So let's look at this now. As we jumped up 135%, the market's like, we came up a little too fast, dropped down by 50, came back up to that 50 line before moving on to the next one. What did we do? 52% before a little bit of a consolidation. So what do I think right now? If we just do another 50% rise, if it follows a 50 to 60, we could do another 135 jump, but I don't know if we could. I mean, I think that a lot of new people jumped in here, but there's a lot of news. If you take all the news that's going on and all the fear that's starting to come into the marketplace, I think we can still get to, I still think we can get to this line. But 6042, is that the consolidation point? If we're talking about just at 50, would we around this zone begin to see a little bit of burn off? Or could it be that this is the line that we need to be measuring at and it might go a little higher? I don't know. Again, these are all it's speculation, right? So if you're looking at Bitcoin, I would be a little careful to try to buy it. I think that we could deal with a consolidation, and I think November might be the excuse. If we're following a pattern, let me close this real quick. If we're following a pattern, let me get my pattern tool out. Boom. Let me get a trend. Let me go ahead and make this just yellow for now. We just say to right here. We do just a, let me move this down just a bit, right there. All right, let me just get this out of the way because you already saw that. So let's just say if we're doing that right there, get this out of the way for a second. Actually, yeah, that's fine. If we look at that pattern and we say, okay, we get to that line, could we be getting to that line around October? What happens in October? That's October 1st. Let's say if we continue to follow that pattern, what happens in November? Is there not another fork? So yeah, we could probably go here and then consolidate. I don't know. Like I said, we could end up going on another 100 and something, another 100% rally all the way up. But there's going to be a consolidation, and we already know that there's some fear already starting to be in the marketplace. So I don't know if it stops here and then goes higher, or it starts to do the consolidation, right? But let me know what you think in the comments. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's going that Bitcoin's going to keep being meteoric? Is it going to go past 6042? Do you think it goes to 8,000? Do you think it's not going to consolidate? Let me know in the comments. One of the things I do want to talk about is, and I've seen this, is BlockNet. There's this company has been starting to make its way into the Discord group, which I'll leave a link to the Discord group in the description. This has been starting to, like, people are talking about it, and one of the things I want to prevent is somebody chasing a trade. Like, when you just look at it, it's like, oh my god, this is great, this is great, this is great. But what you're not looking at is the charts. But first, let's do a little due diligence. All right, so BlockNet, what is it? The future of the internet, blockchain agnostic, decentralized platform as a service. Interesting. Okay, platform as a service, that sounds a little different. Consensus, okay, I'm kind of liking that. You can use you can introduce in the BlockNet the internet of blockchains, okay, so I guess you can interact with all of these. That makes it kind of interesting. Source code BlockNet releases, I do like the fact that there's going that they do have releases. Let's visit their source code. Let's go to GitHub, excuse me, and then I see that BlockNet itself. Let's go ahead and go into it. We see 16 branches. There's 6 contributors. I don't see a fork of any other technology that I don't see a fork from any other technology. That's really interesting to me, and the fact that there's some contributors, people working on stuff. It was updated. Certain things were updated. Commit was 12 days ago, so pretty recent with some updates. I have to look deeper on there to actually see what's been going on with the code. Let's look at, if you go to BlockNet and you check the announcement and click on that, it brings you to this page here at Bitcoin Talk. And of course, it seems, here it is. It's been here since 2014. Okay, so it's an aged coin. And then if you go to the last thread to see what's the consensus of it now? How are people feeling about it? What's the sentiment? It's more than a coin. It's a decentralized exchange. So people are explaining stuff. It seems to have a wallet. There's some issues with the wallet, which is fine. I mean, not everything's going to be working perfect, and that's fine. There's going to be bugs, and if there's people helping fix the bugs, that's always good. BlockNet while is ready and available. So this ATC secure, I saw that in the GitHub. So he's very communicative. That's August 31st. So this really seems great. So I'm not going to sit there and bash this company. Like, from what I can see, even though I don't see much transparency of who the actual developers are, I do like the site. I like that there's a GitHub. I like that they communicate in their announcement page on Bitcoin Talk. So that's always a good thing. The one thing that I do want to do, and let me just go ahead and pull it up. Give me 1 second, because I did not place it in there, which is BLOCK. Let me untick this, go to Bittrex, and go to Block. All right, so when you look at this, and some people look at a 4-hour chart, right? So if you're looking at this as a 4-hour chart, you're going to be like, oh, I can buy here. And it went up here, and I'm going to buy again. So, oh, this is a good, I can buy here, and I can buy there, and I can buy here. Okay, when you look at it this way, it looks like this is a tradable thing. I tell everyone, this is what I learned value investing, because I wasn't a trader. I'm currently learning myself to be better at trading. But one of the things I've always done is do this. And that is go to the month chart. Let me zoom in, excuse me. Go to the month chart. Right? And then once you get into the month chart, let me hold on 1 second. Let me just fix this really quick. Boom. This to 1 day. Then set it to 1 month. And let me zoom this in. Okay, better. There we go. All right, so now what do you see? When you're looking at it in an hour chart or a 4-hour chart, this chart makes you think you've got a great trade and it's going to bounce back here and it's going to go back out. But by looking at the month, does it seem like it's been bouncing? No, it seems like a rocket. It seems like a NASA space shuttle launch. Right? When you see a NASA space shuttle launch, stay clear away from it. And they're already showing weakness right now on the monthly trend, right? We're already starting to see weakness. Now, can it sustain itself and bounce up here and do something else? Yes. But from this point right here, which was 2014, to this point right here, this year of 2017, right? March of 2017, April, May, June, July, August makes this huge leap, but it's never bounced. See, I would have traded down here when it was more consistent to say, all right, you know what? This seems to be the median point. This seems to be maybe the bottom of where I can trade. So between here and here is my tradable zones. Yeah, it might go up here, but that's not consistent. Here on a monthly is where I would trade. Right now, with this going up like this, I have no trade. Can it go higher? And it just turned around again. Can I go higher? Yeah, it could probably go higher. But as a trader, I don't want to lose my money. And you might make money in this, but is the risk worth the reward? Maybe. Or are you chasing it? I would rather sit it out. But that is just me. Maybe you're a better trader than I am. And maybe you can trade this hyperbolic chart. I can't. All right? So, as always, here is our t-shirts, Crypto Plunder. I'll leave a link in the description. Please, if you like a shirt here, want a shirt, have an idea for a shirt, let me know. I can definitely try to get some new shirts out. And as always, subscribe to the channel. Please hit the bell so that you can get announcements about any upcoming videos that I'm doing. I'm going to be working live events back in a couple